The fight over the racist gerrymandered maps in Texas continues. Texas Governor Greg Abbott and Republicans say they will end the first special session tomorrow and immediately gavel in a second special session. Now, keep in mind, they should be focusing on flood relief in Texas because of what happened in Kirk County. Some 130 people died. Nope, that's not what's important. What's important is kissing Donald Trump's ass and giving him 5 Republican districts. They've already withdrawn the maps. Now, they have not voted on the maps in the House because 51 Texas Democrats have walked out, keeping them from having a quorum. Now, the other day, what took place in the Texas Senate? This took place. 9 Democrats walked out in Texas, but 2 remain, allowing the Republicans to actually vote and approve those maps. Now, what makes no sense to me is why in the hell did those Democrats stay? Well, 2 of them explain why they stayed, and still to this day, I don't understand why they did, because it makes absolutely no sense. I'm going to read their comments in just a moment. Let me welcome a couple of folks to us. Texas Legislative Black Caucus Chair Ron Reynolds joins us. Also, State Representative Charlene Johnson. Glad to have both of you on the show. And also, we have State Representative Jolanda Jones. Must first talk with Caucus Chair Ron Reynolds.
Chair Emeritus.
Chair Emeritus, okay, Chair Emeritus, okay. So y'all have been gone. Many of the folks in Illinois, some remained in Texas. They've not had a quorum. And I have been getting calls all day from folk back home in Texas. A number of state lawmakers, been talking to staff, NAs, talking to civil rights leaders, religious leaders. And what I have been told is that Democrats are going to give in. They are going to return to the Capitol and allow for the Republicans to have a quorum and allow for these seats, for these districts to be changed. What is going on?
Well, Fred, it's always good to be with you. And, you know, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. And I'm happy to be joined by 2 of my amazing colleagues, Representative Charlene Warris Johnson and Representative Jolanda Jones. The Texas Legislative Black Caucus has been 10 toes down leading this fight. When we broke quorum, our goal was to stop the first call special session, raise the alarm bells to make sure that other states like California, New York, Illinois, that if Texas passed a racial gerrymander, that we would make sure that other states did the same damn thing. We want to stop the map. The ultimate goal, though, we knew that with Governor Abbott having the ability to call special session after special session after special session, that we could only delay it so that our lawyers could be in a great position to then file injunctions in the court. And we've been working with our lawyers. I've been on the phone with Attorney Gary Bledsoe. I know Representative Jolanda Jones has been communicating. We have gotten, I've been on the phone working with Derek Johnson, the national NACP president. We have LDF, the Lawyers Defense Fund, all ready to go to action if and when the maps are passed. We knew realistically that we could never kill it indefinitely because Governor Abbott could move the primary date that's scheduled for March. He could go and have that primary date move back to May, June, July, and then therefore they would have more time to pass the map.
No, because here's the problem with that. The Supreme Court has consistently said in numerous cases where maps are locked in to give the people an opportunity. In fact, when Alabama and Louisiana, when they voted on their racist maps, they voted on it, and they did that early in the year. In Louisiana, for instance, they approved their maps. This was back in 2022 or 2023. They approved their maps early in the year. It was like February. Their primaries were in August. The general election was in November. The Supreme Court, there's a legal challenge. Supreme Court said they were locked in. That has been very consistent. So what I don't understand is, if you have, now granted, Supreme Court can do whatever they want, but
that's right, Roland, you know that.
Yes, but the Supreme Court has been consistent in terms of locking maps in to give the voters an opportunity to vote properly. And so it's so if Abbott wanted to try to push it to put to May or June, well, then that meant that the primaries would be then still got a general, and based upon what the Supreme Court has done before, that would not be enough time. So what I don't.
Well, that's the advice of the attorneys that are supposedly be the experts on redistricting, the constitutional attorneys. That is based on their advice. They want to be able to have the maps in time to be able to file the injunction to get adjunctive relief in the court.
But here's the problem. This is what, again, I need to understand here. I'm going based upon what we saw in Alabama, what we saw in Louisiana, literally in the last 5 years. We saw this with the commissioner's race in Galveston County, where when the maps were changed, the Supreme Court says if there's enough time for there to be a lawsuit which forces them to redraw the maps, then fine. But if there's not, then they lock it in place. What I don't understand is if you wait until, let's say, December, okay, right now. So that means, let's say y'all go back, fine, on Monday. Within 30 seconds, they're gonna approve the new maps. Done. So now, Thursday, you're talking about August 18th. That now means September, October, November, December. It's more than enough time. So that means they're going to lock in these maps. That means we're going to lose 2 black congressional districts. That means that every candidate that's filed to run for congressional 18 now has to figure out, do they run against Congressman Al Green in the 9th district? And so y'all are actually helping them with their cause, because they can say, hey, it's enough time. They can now file. The voters know the district lines have changed. The primary isn't until March. We're good.
Well, Roland, I think that what you're saying is plausible. But again, we're relying on the experts of the attorneys. And on top of that, one of the main goals was to get California to get off of their ass and other blue states to get off their ass.
I'm sorry, Representative Reynolds. I'm sorry. This is the issue for me. This is the issue that I have. I am 56 years old. My parents are from Texas. My grandparents, maternal, migrated from there. My paternal grandparents, my ancestry dates back to the 1800s in Texas. I have 9 nieces, 4 nephews. My nephew just had a child. My niece has a child due in November. All of them live in Texas. And the reality is Texas Democrats, Texas members of the legislature are elected to protect Texas. California can do what they want to do. Illinois can do what they want to do. Virginia, Maryland, but Texas is elected to represent Texas interests. Now, if Gavin Newsom does what he does, that's great. But the reality is, how do you not fight? Y'all were out 2 weeks. The Montgomery bus boycott was 382 days. So are you saying that that's it? One session, we're going to go back, then we're going to fight? I don't understand.
No, let me just say this real quick, Roland. I agree. I don't disagree with you in principle because I'm a fighter. I believe in going to the balls to the walls. But unfortunately, with respect to the numbers, they're 4 members away from having quorum. We don't have a consensus of other members that we believe would hold out the entirety.
And isn't that the problem? Well, then, how then can you go? How then? And this is a fundamental problem that Democrats face in Texas and the country. How can you? You should be saying to those Democrats, how are we going to go to the voters and tell them to fight when we gave up? They're not going to be welcoming y'all back as some conquering heroes. They're going to say y'all lost. Literally, it was no different than Senator Cory Booker standing there breaking Strom Thurmond's record. And when he was done and they all clapped, they said, let's now move the motion. And then, so what do we have right now? We have people who say Democrats don't fight. We have people right now, Texas is unorganized. You got the most elected, the most eligible black voters in Texas than anywhere in the country. And on the watch of Democrats right now, we're going to see the loss of 2 black congressional districts. And I'm sorry, Representative Reynolds, I understand people being out. I understand family concerns. I understand financial concerns. But how can we tell voters we want you to fight and stand up and stand in line for 5, 6, 7, 8 hours if Texas House Democrats will give in after 2 weeks?
I'll pass it, but I want to say this. If it was up to the people that were on this Zoom, or if it was up to the Legislative Black Caucus, we probably wouldn't be having this conversation.
But this conversation, will there be any member of the Black Caucus who shows up on Saturday or Monday to allow them to have a quorum?
I don't believe that there will be on Saturday. I can't speak for beyond Saturday, but I don't know. Friday, Saturday.
I'm going to tell you right now, if there is a single African American who shows up to allow them to have a quorum, that person should be challenged, primaried, and I'm telling you right now, should be defeated. Because what this is going to do is decimate black power in Texas. And I'm sorry, Representative Reynolds, look.
No.
But here's my problem.
I understand.
But here's my problem. My mama and daddy, 78 years old, went to polling places, worked campaigns, ran campaigns. I was 7 years old passing out material at voting places. And I'll be damned if I'm going to give up this easy and impact my nieces and nephews, because we know if we lose these 2 congressional districts, we will never see them again in my lifetime and likely not the lifetime of my nieces and nephews.
Brad, I feel you, bro. I no need to apologize. I'm with you in spirit. We're working with a group that's multifaceted, multiracial, not as progressive. They're people from different communities. And I feel your passion, and I'm with you, brother. I want to go all in. So we will continue to relay this message. I'm only communicating to you what was communicated to us. So just know that I'm a messenger, I'm an ambassador, and I am relaying to you the concerns of the attorneys and others who've looked at the best strategies to proceed forward. What you're saying, I feel you.
Right.
No, wait. And I'm going to tell you right now, and let me make it perfectly clear. If there is a single African American who allows them to have a quorum, I will personally bring my show to their district and personally have a town hall in their district and have their voters speak against them. Representative Johnson, go ahead.
Yes, I was just saying, Roland, you are singing to the choir right here. We understand what you're saying, and we started this, like Ron said at the beginning, to fight this because it is our districts that are being impacted. It is our voices being impacted. We know that everybody may not be on the same page, but you're singing to the choir today. And what we cannot allow the Republicans to do is to make us attack each other. The Republicans are the enemies, not us.
No. Representative Johnson, I'm sorry. The enemy are the Republicans and the enemy are weak Democrats. That's the enemy. And what we find in Texas right now is that that's one of the fundamental. Listen, I'm still registered in Texas. Matter of fact, I am registered in Congressman Jasmine Crockett's district. And what I'm saying is, again, here's a perfect example. This is just real simple for me. 9 Democrats walked out in the Texas Senate. If the other 2 had walked out, they couldn't have passed the maps.
Right.
So what I don't understand is, why did the other 2 stay? They could have walked out.
Right, but we did.
No. But that's the perfect example I'm talking about. If 9 walked out and went to their office and they couldn't, if 2 Democrats had also walked out, Zaffarini and Chewy Hinojosa, they couldn't have passed the maps. So what do they say? Oh, we stayed to fight. No, you didn't. You stayed to lose.
So you're going to go into their districts, into those 2 Democrats that stayed, you're going to go in their district?
You goddamn right. I ain't got a problem doing it, because this is the problem. And I'm telling y'all right now, black folks are saying, oh, Democrats, y'all want us to fight, organize, mobilize, swing, and put all the work. And then when we do, then you don't even have the gumption to force a second or a third session. You give up after 2 weeks. Representative Jones, go ahead.
So I 1,000% agree with you.
No, she's heard. We hear.
I'm 1,000% in line with you. I ain't gonna be there on Saturday or Monday. Let me be clear. If this is my respectful opinion, if we go with them, we allow the people who are not losing seats. Okay, the people that are losing seats are black people. Okay, they are losing seats, and we will never get them back. So I'm not gonna make it easy for them to not be courageous. I'm just not. I think it's wrong. I think that we can't ask our constituents to fight for us if we're not willing to fight for them. We had 4 special sessions in the 88th legislature. We've been here for not even 2 weeks. Monday will be 2 weeks. So we will not have even held out for 2 weeks. I don't know how my law practice is going to be when I get back from here. And I've got to figure that out. But right now, I always wanted to have a civil rights moment where I could show people who my grandmother and mom raised me to be. And this is that moment in time. I understand people have different reasoning for what they're doing, but I'm not going to do it. I literally woke up this morning crying. I woke up this morning crying because why would I let California do what I can do my damn self? True story. And even if California is able to pass their maps, that doesn't stop CD. And let me be clear, my district, House District 147, has 3 of the districts in it. I share constituencies with CD9, with CD18, and with CD29, and I live in CD18. My constituents will not have the opportunity to elect 2 or 3 people who think like us. And us spreading the word and getting the word out, and California or Illinois or New York doing whatever it is they do, doesn't change the fact that I ain't gonna have no sufficient Black representation in Houston where I live and allow us to pick the person. And the same thing is true in Dallas. And so I'm not a sheep at all. I'm not gonna just follow because that is like what people are saying to say. You know, I'm willing to hold out as long as I need to. I know the Montgomery bus boycott lasted for over a year, right? People struggle. People had to figure out how to get to work. People lost their jobs, and this was for over a year because they understood that the only way to get white folks to pay attention was to hit them in the pocketbook, and they thought they could outlast us. So you ain't got to worry about me. I ain't going nowhere. And let me be clear to anybody who says I'm not team House Democratic Caucus. No, I'm team HG 147. I'm team my constituents. My constituents are what matters. So that's all. And I ain't making no mistakes. Like I said, sometimes in life, decisions are hard. Sometimes in life, you got to make them. And I make a decision to stand with my constituents. I'm not making a decision to make it easier for the Democrats to go back. And let me be clear, if we go back to the House, we are going to be slaughtered, okay? There are 88 of them and 62 of us. They don't listen to us. They shove stuff down our throats all session. Very, 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 very bad bills, right? So when I fight to win. I don't fight to win the messaging. I don't fight to end a session. My fight is to stop the maps. And if we stay with a quorum and back to the whole legal thing, let me be clear. If we stayed till March or June, guess what? There would be no maps to change the game. There would be no maps. There would be no maps. So the same districts that we have right now would still be in place if we stopped them from doing it. So I'm a lawyer. That's legal fiction. People can say stuff. I cannot let people be on me and tell me it's right, and I'm just not going to believe it. If we fought, we stopped it, there would be no new maps for people to vote on. Period, point blank.
Friday, I had State Representative Sophronia Thompson on, longest-serving House member ever, and we talked about Senator John Cornyn asking the FBI to come in and come after them. This is what she actually said about that.
It's a civil warrant. It's not a criminal warrant. And number 3, Tom DeLay tried it in 2003 when we left and went to Ardmore, Oklahoma. He wanted to send the FBI and pick us up and bring us back to Texas, and they did not get involved, and that was a Republican administration during that time as well. These are civil warrants and not criminal warrants, and they don't have to look for me. I tell them where I am. I can send them a map and driving direction, and everything. They can locate me real well.
Well, so here's my point here, Representative Reynolds. One of the things that Dr. King always talked about, that I need an antagonist to my protagonist. And the reason the movement did not succeed in Albany, Georgia, because the sheriff was smart. He was college educated. But then they went against Jim Clark. They went against Bull Connor because he understood I need an antagonist. So this is what I don't understand. If I'm going to go back, let's say I'm a House Democrat, and I'm going to go back. I ain't going to make it easy on them. I'm going to say, come get me. And matter of fact, if you come to my house, we're going to have the cameras there, and I'm going to kneel in my front yard, and then you're going to have to physically put me in a car. But what I'm not going to do is willingly walk to the state capitol. I'm not going to make it easy on them. I'm not going to make it, no, I'm going to make it hard on them. And so are you saying that to the other Democrats, that we going to make it easy? We just going to walk back to Austin and think the people going to say, oh, glad to have y'all back. The last 2 weeks was great. No, you got to make it hard on them. What are Democrats in Texas doing to make it hard on them instead of making it easy walking back in?
Well, Roland, again, Fred, I feel your passion, and I agree with the sentiments of what Representative Jones said. And just for context, if you look back at the empirical data on this, I was one of the first to say we need to break quorum. So I do believe in the spirit of good trouble, necessary trouble. I was one of the ones with Jasmine Crockett back in 2021 that says we need to break quorum and go to D.C. And we did. So I feel you, Frat. The only problem I'm telling you is that everybody ain't built like us. Okay?
Well, but then everybody who ain't built like us also need to be called out. Because see, these are the same folk who want us to put it on the line, but when it's time for them to put it on the line, they punk out.
Well, Frat, to be honest with you, I know for a fact that they would be able to make quorum. That many people say, I didn't sign up for a second quorum break. I'm just going to be transparent with you. We had to push and do everything we could to get them to do this quorum break right here, right now. So we tried to move the needle, but the resistance was, hey, I got to do this. I got a wife. I got a spouse. I got a job. I got this. I got that. I can't do another 30 days. So we would not likely have the number that we need, 51 strong, to be able to have a continued quorum break. That is the real honest to God's truth. That's being transparent, keeping it 100, keeping it real. Many of us can say, hey, we gonna hold a line. But if you get 4 more, the quorum break is over. They have a quorum. That is what I'm telling you, Brad. I'm just putting it on line.
And you know what? Here's what's amazing for me, Representative Johnson. I literally watched 4 Freedom Caucus Republicans force vote after vote after vote after vote for a new Speaker of the House. We saw them 4. And this is, and I'm just telling you, I spent a lot of time on the ground. I'm going to put it down right now. Here's what's going to happen. But every Democrat who's going, oh, we won the messaging. Oh, we done rallied the other Democrats. When they come back, folks in Texas are going to be mad and disappointed. They're going to be upset. And they're going to say, that's it? 2 weeks? That's it? And I'm telling you, it's going to be harder to motivate young folks in Texas, to motivate other folks in Texas to vote out folks in these state seats, because they're going to say, why should I vote for a party that folded so easily? Your response to that?
My response is you're absolutely right. They want to see Democrats fighting, and we have to continue this fight. I wholeheartedly agree with you. And like I said, you talk to 3 people that are here, 10 toes down. We have to show that we are fighting. We are not giving up the fight. We are not giving up that fight. And I can understand, you looking at what you're hearing. We haven't confirmed when we were coming back. Us 3, you haven't heard us say that. We didn't say we was coming back on any of those days.
First of all, you don't have to, ma'am, no disrespect. You don't have to, because this right here is the Texas Tribune. It says right here, Texas House Democrats who left the state in protest of proposed congressional redistricting said Thursday they will return to the state after the legislature adjourned. They said in a statement, members of the minority party said their lawyers had advised them to return, quote, to build a strong public legislative record for the upcoming legal battle against these particular districts. This is the state, says Texas House Democrats broke quorum and successfully mobilized the nation against Trump's assault on minority voting rights. This is according to Representative Wu out of Houston, facing threats of arrest, lawfare, financial penalties, harassment, and bomb threats. We have stood firm in our fight against a proposed Jim Crow congressional district map. Go right ahead.
And again, I speak for Charlene, not for anybody whose name you saw in there. And I said that the fight has to continue. And so what we have to do is continue to fight. And I'm listening to my constituents, what my constituents want me to do.
Right.
They voted me into this seat, and I have, I have their respect. I have their voice that I'm listening to, not anybody else or whatever you read on there. I'm listening to my constituents.
Representative Jones, final comment.
I'm just gonna say this: my constituents said, "Stay where you at."
Mm-hmm.
Right, and the fact that I have colleagues who feel like they need to go there, I can't let that dictate what I do. I just can't. Right. And apart from that, I woke up this morning crying. I woke up this morning because I see the only power that we have, we're giving away. Literally the only power that we had to stop those bullies, those racist, anti-Black people. We literally stopped them in their tracks because they could not conduct business. And so I've never in my entire life, I've been on so many winning teams. I don't take well to losing. And I don't believe, even though some people think it's a win, me personally, I don't think it's a win if they pass those maps because we are going to lose representation. We are going to lose it. And the people that are losing it are Black people. White people aren't losing representation. Hispanic people got 5 seats. The people that are losing it are Black. And I just want to see when people will stand for Black people like they stand for other people. That's just real. And again, I'm a lawyer for 30 years. If the maps don't go into effect, then we still have 2 congressional seats that people can run for. And if the maps do go into effect, then we're going to have a bloodbath between 2 Black people in Houston and 2 Black people in Dallas. And I think we want the opportunity to have both of those Black people in both Houston and in Dallas. So I'm not with you in spirit. I'm with you in action, right? Because your words might say something, but what do your actions show? And so, and I fully expect to be punished. I fully expect that if I'm in the House, in the State House, I ain't gonna pass no more bills ever again in life. But if that's what I have to lose, I may not even be talked to ever again in life in the House because I didn't go along to get along. I'm prepared for that because the people that elected me to fight for them have asked me to stay, and that's what I'm doing, regardless of the consequences from political people.
I'm going to close this out. This is Dr. King's book, Where Do We Go From Here, Chaos or Community? In the last chapter called The World House, and I'm going to skip around, this is literally what he says. He writes, the present upsurge of the Negro people of the United States grows out of a deep and passionate determination to make freedom and equality a reality here and now. What we are seeing now is a freedom explosion, the realization of an idea whose time has come, to use Victor Hugo's phrase. The deep rumbling of discontent that we hear today is the thunder of disinherited masses rising from dungeons of oppression to the bright hills of freedom. All over the world, like a fever, freedom is spreading to the widest liberation movement in history. The great masses of people are determined to end the exploitation of their races and lands. He says you can hear them rumbling in every village, street, on the docks, in the houses, among the students, in the churches, and at political meetings. Oppressed people cannot remain oppressed forever. The yearning for freedom eventually manifests itself. Then he says something within has reminded the Negro of his birthright of freedom, and something without has reminded him that it can be gained. Consciously or unconsciously, he has been caught up by the spirit of the times, and with his Black brothers of Africa and his brown and yellow brothers in Asia, South America, and the Caribbean, the United States Negro is moving with a sense of great urgency toward the promised land of racial justice. Nothing could be more tragic than for men to live in these revolutionary times and fail to achieve the new attitudes and the new mental outlooks that the new situation demands. Very simple. The people today, the voters today, millennials, Gen Z, Gen Alpha, these are not the same folk as baby boomers in Generation X. And the reality is, fewer African Americans are self-identifying as Democrats. People are saying, I don't see fighters. I don't see people standing up. And what they're also saying is exactly what Representative Jones says. We have been the backbone of the Democratic Party. We have been the ones who have withstood the battles and the fights and that carry the torch. And when the hell do the other folks stand up and fight as hard as we do? I understand. I understand every single point that you've made, Representative Reynolds, Representative Johnson, Representative Jones. But I'm telling you right now, y'all should go back to that caucus and you tell Representative Wu and you tell Tallarico and you tell Anachi and tell the rest of them they are going to have a problem when they let these racist maps go through and they going to look up. And if you think black folks have said we sitting out and we going to spend times doing line dances, boots on the ground, they are in for a rude awakening when they come to black churches and black neighborhoods and say, where you at? And the response is going to be, where in the hell were you at? We needed you the most. I thank all three of you for your work. And again, let every member of the Black Caucus know, any member who stands with these Republicans and gives them a quorum, I'm putting their names and their faces on this show every single day because they got to be called out. And let me be real clear. I understand other folk, but this show centers African Americans. Let those black members know that if they buckle, they will be called out.
Roland, may I say one quick thing?
I literally got to go to a break. My panel's next. I appreciate all three of you. Thank you, sir, very much for your service and your fight. Thanks a lot.
Hello, I'm Isaac Hayes III, founder and CEO of Fanbase. Listen to what I'm about to tell you. The window to invest in Fanbase is closing. We've raised over $10.6 million of our $17 million goal. That means there's room for less than 6,370 people to invest in Fanbase for the average amount. The minimum to invest in Fanbase right now is $399. That makes you an owner in Fanbase today. Go to startengine.com/fanbase to invest. Why? Because current social apps have taken advantage of users for far too long, with content suppression, shadow banning, harmful racist content, and no real tools for monetization and equity. Fanbase has over 1.4 million users and counting, allowing anyone to reach all their following and monetize their content from day one. Social media is the new TV, and whoever owns the apps that distribute that content have the opportunity to own potential billion-dollar companies. While big platforms with uncertain futures are failing to serve their users, Fanbase is stepping up to fill the gap. Don't wait until it's too late. Invest now, invest for yourself and your future. Go to startengine.com/fanbase and own the next generation of social media.